Welcome back everyone, Oz here, and today I've got some r/OhNoConsequences. As per usual, I'll be reading you the post, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Originally posted to r/Am I the Asshole. Am I the asshole for reminding my mom she said we couldn't have a relationship with her if we didn't accept one with her husband? My mom had me, 27 male, and my sister, 29 female, with our late dad. He died when I was 10 and my sister was 12, and when I was 15, my mom got remarried. Her husband is Frank, fake name. From the very start, my sister and I had issues with Frank. We have bigger and smaller issues. The two big issues are/were, 1. He insisted that nobody mentioned dad in his presence. Didn't matter who we were with or where we were, it was not allowed. This included the times he tagged along when we went to see anyone from dad's side of the family. He would invite himself and then enforce this rule or he'd make us leave. Mom let this happen. Even our dad's anniversary or birthday, we couldn't talk about him if Frank was around. And that included asking mom if she wanted to come to the grave with us. Frank actually yelled at my sister during her graduation dinner because she had mentioned dad in her speech. 2. He inserted himself deeply into the relationship with our dad's side of the family. We could visit anyone on mom's side without issue. He didn't even care if we said anything to him. But the second it was someone from dad's side and he found out we only mentioned it to mom, he would scold us and insist we needed to ask his permission to see them. Then he'd tag along frequently and invite himself to see them too. This went for a lot of stuff. Mom had already stopped coming with us before she even met Frank, but he insisted on being there. And if my sister or I said we didn't want him to come, then he told us we couldn't go. If whoever we went to see didn't want Frank inside the house, he'd say then we weren't allowed inside either. Once my sister moved out, he was pissed that she spent more time with dad's side, and he tried to tell her what to do still. She was having none of it. My sister and I tried to talk to mom about all our issues with Frank, and we told her we didn't want a relationship with him. She always told us we needed to have one with him to have one with her. We took her at her word, and my sister stopped talking to her, and once I moved out, so did I. We stopped going to see her or spending holidays with her and Frank. We didn't invite her over or initiate any contact. She brought it up a few times how we were bad at maintaining the relationship, and we told her we weren't. We just weren't maintaining it, but she ignored us. She tried to come and see us a few times. We told her no Frank, so she never came. We let her birthday pass without any acknowledgement, and when she'd tell us about Frank's birthdays, we'd work to forget the date. A few weeks ago, I got engaged. I didn't tell my mom or ask anyone else to, but the news got to her. She was upset she didn't hear it from me, and upset I said no to her throwing an engagement party for us. She never even met my fiancé, which was something else that upset her. She asked how she's supposed to meet her for the first time at the wedding, and I told her she's not supposed to. I said she won't be invited. My mom did not expect that at all, and she asked me why. I told her Frank is not welcome, and she made it perfectly clear she won't come. I reminded her that she said we can't have a relationship with her if we won't have one with Frank. And I told her it would be over my dead body that I would have a relationship with him. My mom said we were supposed to love her enough to accept Frank, and I told her I do not have to have a relationship with a man who would kick up a fuss over my dad being mentioned in his presence and who tried to control the relationship I had with my family. I reminded her dad is still my dad, and I'd find a way to incorporate his memory into the wedding. I asked her if Frank would tolerate that, or if he'd start yelling like at my sister's graduation. She told me she doesn't want to lose both her kids and she loves us. I told her we love her, but we're not willing to accept that man she calls a husband. Then she told me I was being so unfair, and when she said what she did, we could have talked about it more. That reminding her like this wasn't right. I said this was the consequences of her actions. I told her I could live with the consequences of not accepting Frank, that I can sleep fine at night, knowing our relationship is what it is. And it isn't my problem if she can't do the same. Now she's upset and angry, and apparently I'm the bad guy in her eyes. Am I the asshole? The common rule of giving an ultimatum is never give an ultimatum if you can't accept both results. The mom thought that when she gave the ultimatum of, well, if you don't want Frank, then you can't have me, she wasn't expecting the result to be a casual, okay, followed by a limited and unmaintained contact. And I'm all for a step-parent being involved in their new stepchild's life, but there's a difference between being involved and replacing. A step-parent should not be replacing or trying to completely destroy any past memory of their child's former parent, especially one that's passed. What Frank's doing is just fucking disgusting. And the kids made it damn fucking clear to the mom that they weren't happy with what he was doing. And honestly, shame on the mother. For when OP's sister spoke on her father during her graduation, she was berated and shamed by it. And the mother did fucking nothing and agreed with Frank. And then had the audacity to throw out the ultimatum later on of, if you don't want Frank, you can't have me. They couldn't even have their father. What's one fucking more? At least by kicking Frank to the curb, they can fucking have the memory of their father back. Like, good God. Originally posted to r/relationship advice. How do, 35 male, express to my brother, 27 male, that I want to go to his wedding and that it hurts me I'm not invited. About 10 years ago, my brother and I had a massive falling. I ended up hooking up with his girlfriend at the time behind his back. His girlfriend was 18 at the time. Oh my God. I know I shouldn't have done it, but looking back at it, my self-esteem was in the gutter, and I used this as a poor attempt at a pick-me-up. Still, when it became known I was hooking up with her, it cost me everything. My brother was no contact with me for the longest time. He became low contact with me a few years ago with the pushing of our parents. Essentially because they were tired of only having to invite one of us somewhere. Still, throughout that time, I've grown and deeply regret what happened. Recently though, I found out he's getting married. He hasn't told me about the wedding, but I did know he had a girlfriend. I suppose fiancé now. I'm hurt because I thought we were getting along more. Last time he was home, I joked about how the Air Force is the chair force. He's in the Air Force Reserve, and we had a good laugh. He showed me pictures of his vacation to Monaco and everything. I just want to be able to show my love for my brother and put everything behind us. It also raises more questions from people who don't know about what happened between us if I'm not there. Final line gives your intentions away, my dude. It gives the impression that you're not wanting to go to the wedding for your brother, but you're more interested in going there to save face, so less people know about the fact that you hooked up with his 18-year-old girlfriend potentially a decade ago. There are some things in life that you just can't take back. There are some actions that you may commit that just simply can't be undone, and they will permanently scar any relationship you have with someone. That is an insanely humiliating, degrading, and just fucked up way to violate your brother's trust. And that's just something where he's pretty much chosen to keep you at an arm's length, and you have to deal with that. You did that to yourself. Oh, congratulations, he laughed at a chair force joke. That means you two are totally back to being buddy-buddy, and he can just forget the fact that his girlfriend at the time was sleeping with his brother. And it sounds like not just once either. You specifically said, I was hooking up with her, as in multiple sessions. Your brother made the choice not to invite you because there's very clearly still pain going on there, and it's entirely understandable for him not quite being ready to have that relationship rebuilt. That's his choice. He doesn't want you at his wedding, and you should respect that. Originally posted to r/TIFU, which stands for Today I Fucked Up. Today I fucked up by telling a stupid joke. On Monday, I, 42 female, went on probably the best date of my entire life. We'll call him Great Date Guy, 48 male. I met him on Tinder and decided to meet for dinner near my apartment. He brought the most amazing energy to the date. We laughed, ADHD vibing, both of us have it, and it was just the most amazing time. He came back to my place, we both agreed to keep things out of the bedroom and take things slow. I agreed, no problem. Then I ended with amazing kisses and plans to see each other again on Friday. Now, before the date, I asked Great Date Guy to come to me because I went on 2 dates with someone who told me he couldn't come to me because he's broke. I drove an hour one way for 2 dates and make half of what he makes a year, or so he said, who knows. Anyway, the Great Date Guy agreed to come to me. So Tuesday, we've been texting when we could all day, because we're at work, etc., because he'd planned the date for Friday. He had mentioned on Monday that he would like to see me again before Friday if possible. So Tuesday, I asked if he wanted to meet again before Friday, to which he said he wouldn't have his car until Friday. And cue my stupid fucking sense of humor. Here's where I fucked everything up. Because we'd had so much fun, vibing, great banter, etc., I thought it would be a good joke to say, If you're gonna be like the other guy, I might have to rethink the situation. He texted back saying, ugh, I understand, no hard feelings, I wish you the very best. I immediately texted back saying I can come to him, but he'd already blocked me. I called, it goes straight to voicemail. I feel like such an idiot and I've cried several times over it. I really liked him and hate myself for possibly ruining an amazing opportunity and relationship. Too long didn't read, made a stupid joke after having the most amazing date of my life. Now I'm blocked and unable to say how sorry I am. So that's where the post ended when it was originally posted to OhNoConsequences. However, in the time being between it was posted and now, there's actually been an edit to add more context and information. Edit 1. To clarify, we had both joked about it. He had even asked about it during dinner. He shared things about his ex with me and dating since joining Tinder. He asked about my experiences, etc. We talked about all our tattoos, favorite movies and shows, family, like we went down the ADHD rabbit hole of tangent conversation. The night ended with us cuddling in my oversized chair listening to music we both enjoyed. I was using my phone to play music, I was holding the phone on my hip while he searched a song. We both took turns sharing songs we liked, made out a bit, and when he hugged me, he squeezed, saying I was the perfect height. He went home, texted me I was weird and adorable, we both joked about being weirdos through the whole date. He even planned the next date. He texted me links to where we were going, and we were going to meet at the first spot. We were both texting about how excited we were to see each other again. I understand the joke was in poor taste on so many levels, however, any neurodivergent ADHDer will tell you sometimes the filter has a giant hole and everything spills out without an ounce of forethought. And with previous tangents the night before, it seemed to go with our banter we had going. I did send it with emojis, by the way, the little thinking emoji and the sticking tongue out crazy-eyed emoji. I reached out and left a voicemail. I also emailed him. All I know is I fucked up and I'm sorry I hurt his feelings. I have a dark sense of humor and learn to think before I joke. Edit 2. Sorry, I don't know how to update properly, so it's been 1 week since the incident and I haven't heard from him. I have not reached out to him again either. In response to some comments. 1. Yes, I have been diagnosed by a professional with ADHD and I am seeing a therapist. No, it's not an excuse to act like an asshole. I was genuinely trying to be funny. He told me to go to hell in our first text exchange. We laughed about it when we met. In the context of the conversation, it was really funny, so I did not think it would be received the way it was. 2. I cried because I hurt someone's feelings and couldn't properly apologize. I feel that so fucking hard. I'm not a malicious or cruel person, just very sensitive and cry over smaller things in life sometimes. 3. I thought about his reaction a lot. If he couldn't ask for clarification or call me out on it before just instantly blocking me, then it seems to me there would be conflicts surrounding communication in the future. I will fully own up to my action. However, there should still have been constructive communication around the misunderstanding. That's it. On to the next misadventure. I'm very glad we got the update with context because it definitely changes and shifts things around a little bit. Part of me actually thinks the OhNoConsequences shifted with the edit from being OP to being OP's great date guy. I mean, like, the joke in question was in line with OP's previous jokes that they had been making back and forth with each other and wasn't entirely out of nowhere with no kind of context or understanding. Like, if they had hit the goofy context-style banter where you can casually just tell someone to go to hell and understand that they're joking, but then get a message like that with emojis and fully not understand they're joking and allow the communication to break down to the point of blocking, that is certainly a sign that he's incapable of actually having any kind of constructive communication and definitely might actually been a soft bullet dodge. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand that the joke could definitely have been interpreted to be in poor taste. Hell, without the edit, I was certainly in that boat as well. But if they had the kind of banter that OP was explaining, from calling each other weirdos to telling each other to go to hell, to making prior jokes about their exes, and just all that kind of stuff on top of it, it definitely paints a very different picture here. One of them being that he just has communication issues, and that would definitely lead to more problems down the line in the relationship, because if he's willing to tell her to go to hell as a response, but the moment that she makes a joke that could slightly be at his expense, then he goes the blocking route, that definitely could lead to some problems down the line. But if I'm going to tinfoil hat theory this, I think he found someone else on Tinder and was just looking for the very first way to get out of it. That's why he went from, I really want to see you before Friday, to, we're going to have to wait until Friday because my car's in the shop. And yeah, it is certainly possible that between Monday and Tuesday a car could have to go into the shop, but it just feels too coincidental. But again, tinfoil hat theory, so take it with a grain of salt. Cross-posted from Best Of. The original OP is Evan Breath 9368 on r/am I the asshole. Am I the asshole for moving out after my mom announced her pregnancy? I'm 22 female, my mom is 37, and I have 3 younger siblings. 14 female, female 7, and male 4. Me and the 2 oldest have different dads from each other, and the other 2. They, and this upcoming baby, all have the same dad, our stepdad. I'm sorry if that was confusing. There are 3 dads in total, but only our stepdad is involved now. I was the babysitter and mom growing up. When my sister was born, I magically became mom despite not even being double digits. When the others came, I was still mom. I didn't even get to have fun, go out, or be a kid. My job in the house was to cook, clean, raise my siblings, and deal with our mom. She was incredibly immature growing up and loved to drink, party, spend money on luxuries, and not be a mom. She acts like a mom now, but a lot of the work still falls on me. She robbed me of my childhood, and I'm very bitter about it. The only reason I lived at home for so long was because no one would/could take me in, and I felt that I could tolerate it all for free rent and food. It was a good deal for me then, but I'm 22 now. I'm done being a mom when I don't even have kids. Last year, my stepdad's parents died in a car accident, and as their only child, he got everything. We all moved into their home and got a bit of money under our belts, so I guess they decided to have a baby. When my mom announced it, I asked if she was serious. She confirmed and asked me if I still had my diaper-changing skills as a joke. I was silently livid. I dryly laughed and found some roommates online that night. The thought of wasting another 10+ years raising my siblings sounded like hell. She found out that I'm planning on leaving come August, and now she's irate, calling me every name under the sun and selfish. She got my siblings involved, and the youngest is crying, asking why I don't love them anymore, and why I'm leaving. It's really low to use kids like that, and it hurts. I don't want to stay, but I don't want them to cry. I know I'm doing the right thing for myself, but is it the right thing for them? My mom never really parented growing up. She wouldn't, so I took over that role. I was the one who changed diapers and taught them their ABCs and all that. I was the one who cooked dinner and bathed them. I look at none of my siblings as siblings, but as my own kids, because that's what they basically are. I don't think she'll be able to do a good job. She and my stepdad rely on me heavily in that category. Am I the asshole for leaving? I need advice on how to get over this feeling and move on. Edit. Holy shit, this kind of blew up when I wasn't expecting it to. Thanks everyone for the kind messages. You're all right. I need to go. My mom and stepdad need to figure it out. I'm going to talk to all 3 of my siblings and explain that me leaving is normal and a good thing. I'll always be a phone call away. I'm most worried about my 14-year-old sister though, and will not hesitate to get authorities involved if I suspect she's going through what I went through or she tells me herself. I'll be giving her a different type of talk soon to try and prevent her from becoming the new mom. Thanks everyone, smiley face. If I update again, it'll be after I've already moved out. I really appreciate your guys' support. It's giving me the strength to do what's right even if it's hurting. My mom and stepdad can hire a babysitter with his inheritance if they really can't do it. Relevant comments, and OP's response to them. Angsty carrot eater. No, leave now. It's getting way manipulative and your mom seems like the queen of making poor choices as it is. Like, Jesus. Run for your life. Remain in contact with your siblings, but it's not your obligation to be a mother to your mom's kids. Edit. You need to point out it's time for her to grow the fuck up and be a parent. That, by the sound of it, you never had. Opie responds, I agree with her being the queen of bad decisions. When I was born, I could excuse it because she was so young and needed guidance. My grandparents, her parents, were permissive and let her do whatever she wanted with little to no consequences. It was really fun when I was a kid because, well, no rules. I moved a lot growing up into her boyfriend's house and stayed with her friends frequently when she went out to party. Eventually, as you might expect, I learned that that wasn't fun and that I wanted my mom. I would cry and she'd push me aside because she just didn't want to be a parent. She's doing a lot more now, like I said in my post, but it's obvious she has no idea what kids are really like. She sees them sort of as a decoration because they were always shoved at me. She knows she's going to have a world of hell waiting for her once I'm gone. User Gone Baby Thoughts comments, you tell the kids, I love you in my heart no matter what, always. And you leave, because you deserve a life that is not being a domestic servant to your mother's failed birth control philosophy. You being parentified at such a young age is a form of abuse. Sit down with your 14 female sister and explain what happened to you, and that she can't let it happen to her. Your mom will come after her next. It would be a very good idea to get a therapist to help you reframe exactly how badly you've been treated and why you need to leave. You can't help the other kids really until you help yourself first. OP responds, I thought about my sister a lot as well, which is what makes this so hard. I took the brunt of everything so she wouldn't have to. 14 is way too early to be a parent, and I know that that's what will happen to her. I know that she'll just do what she's told, and she's responsible enough to realize when things aren't working, and she'll try to fix them herself and fall into that trap. I don't know how to have that conversation with her without my household exploding, but I know that it needs to be done. My 2 little siblings have just been crying and crying, thinking that I'm never coming back, even though I tell them that I'll come visit. My mom keeps telling them that I'm never coming back and abandoning the family. Verdict, not the asshole. Update. Am I the asshole for moving out after my mom announced her pregnancy? Hello everyone. I just wanted to say thank you again for your kind words and encouragement. You have no idea what they meant to me. I moved out and everything is going fine. My mom and stepdad blocked me, but my 14-year-old sister is so far doing fine. I talked to all my siblings individually, but it was rough in more ways than one. I had an explosive argument with my mom the day I left, but that was to be expected. She said nothing new. She called me selfish, a brat, a terrible daughter, and said that she wished she had aborted me. Nothing I haven't heard before. About a week or so before I moved out, I stopped doing most of the things I did before. My parents freaked out and we had a lot of arguments, but I'm happy it's over with. Every time they saw me, a comment was said either to my face or under their breath. My mom would act like I was invisible and talk shit about me to whoever was around. She filled my siblings' heads up with bullshit, and I was incredibly stressed about it. I actually considered staying at that point. I was very close to just staying home, which I know will disappoint you all, but I almost did. This wasn't an easy transition for my siblings, and they're small. It hurt so bad watching them get wrapped up in all this. My parents had no idea how to do anything for some reason. They had no patience and couldn't get the kids to listen to them. I know they didn't have much experience in childcare, but they were acting brand new. I had a really hard time watching them struggle and watching my siblings suffer because of it. I felt fucking horrible, and like I was neglecting them. School is also coming up very soon, and I used to always get them together, so that's going to be an upcoming problem. I'm happy that I won't be around for that, but I'm sad that I won't be. My little brother will be a kindergartner, and my sister will be a freshman in high school. Those are huge milestones I wanted to be around for. But on the bright side, my sister is playing the incompetence card all on her own, and I love her for it. After our conversation about not turning out like me, she told me she'll pretend not to know how until mom stops asking her, which hasn't happened yet. Apparently, mom asks her to cook, wash the kids, get them dressed, etc. Little gateway things that'll spiral into her being the new mom. I'm proud of her for sticking to her plan for all the few weeks that she has. She's a lot stronger than I thought she was. I really thought that I'd have to drill it into her to not do anything. But she's doing a lot better than expected. I just hope she doesn't crumble under the pressure. I know it's hard. In order to visit, I have to be welcomed back into the house, but that isn't going well since I'm blocked. I don't want my sister being the middleman even though she's already trying. I want to see everyone, but without permission, there's nothing I can do. Turns out that when the mom said she'll never be coming back, she meant it, and that was by force. And if anyone cares about my new move, my roommates are great. We played Monopoly our first night all settled in, and it was a great bonding experience. And they're very clean people. It seems too small, but holy shit, it's amazing. I'm loving my current arrangement and hoping it lasts. So yeah, I'm doing fine. My sister didn't take over my job, and I hope she never does, and my parents are losing their minds as expected. I can see their marriage falling apart in the future too. They can figure it all out and raise this one start to finish. Part of me is almost feeling incredibly guilty for leaving, and I sometimes regret it. But my newfound freedom feels so good, and I'm reminded of why I left. I'm going to a bar later tonight with my roommates for the first time in my life to let loose and have fun. It feels so weird to say, but I feel like a teenager. Everything is so exciting and feels a bit illegal, like I'm out way past curfew. So thank you again, everyone. I don't think I'd actually have moved without your guys' words. Even though I found roommates, I don't think I could have left on my own. I wouldn't have committed and probably just stayed home. I'm not as strong as I thought I was. It really helped me make a decision when I thought about disappointing you guys. I've never met any of you, but having a cheerleader and knowing that so many of you saw my post and wrote me a kind message really helped. I couldn't be more grateful and excited to live my life. I thought it would be a great time to update since I'm going out tonight to have some fun. Someday all the guilt will be gone and I'll patch up my relationship with everyone. I still want to have a relationship with my mom someday if she'll change and allow it. As much as I say I hate her, I still sort of love her. She's still my mom. But until then, bye everyone. Thank you all so much. Parentification is a nasty form of abuse, and it is just an extremely destructive force from neglectful parents. It's the idea of them wanting to continue to live their life the way they wanted to without kids, and putting the entire burden on a free babysitter who's now forced to do it. And I know for a fucking fact that when they announced their pregnancy, they entirely expected OP to remain home and be the mom. OP put it best actually when they said that the mom views the kids as accessories and not necessarily as her actual children. And now, she's in for a very rude awakening of what actually goes into childcare, and I'm actually partially upset that we'll never get an update on how badly that's about to go. And as I made a sly comment in the middle of the post earlier, when she said that OP would never be coming back and OP insisted that she'd still come to visit, it certainly shows that the mom was fully intending to use isolation as a weapon, and my guess would be is the reason why they blocked her was an attempt to essentially try and make her break and come back. I mean, hell, there's evidence that it definitely works because OP was having guilt and dealing with the struggles of mentally coming to terms with whether or not her actions were the correct choice or not. But OP made the right choice and was strong about her decision. Putting on a brave face to do something even when you have doubts or fear doesn't make your actions any less valid. In fact, I'd actually be willing to argue it makes them more commendable because despite having the fear to push forward, you still do. You still make the decision you need to. So don't sell yourself short. Don't forget, this is brought to you by GamerSupps. Use code ODDS at checkout. It's basically a caffeine powder that you put in your water, and I actually really like it. I use this on a daily basis. Don't forget that every purchase you make using code ODDS directly supports the channel. And if you want a personal recommendation from me, I would either recommend the Soda Pressing Pear or Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are currently my favorite flavors. And as a note, once we sell a certain amount of stuff, I get my own flavor and my own cup, and you all know I'm gonna choose some degenerate shit that's gonna make their PR team squirm. My goal is to make them regret partnering with me. So please, use code ODDS at checkout to make my dream come true of making a PR team squirm.